natin. Okay, ayan, okay, thank you, thank you. Buti pa, sasabi ko sana eh. Bago tayo mag-start, ang CDI subjects ay siyam. So, tatalakayin natin for 3 days ay siyam. Ang inyong questionnaire ay around 600 items. So, we need to finish by minimum 200 a day. No? Okay? Yung ating Q&A, hindi naman parang technically 100 sa traffic, 100, etc. Hindi. Naka-random tayo kung ano yung pinakamarami na usually lumalabas sa board. Okay? Pag merong question, pag meron kayong question, i-type nyo lang sa chat. Kapag hindi ko nasagutan, nandito naman si ma'am na ating moderator, babanggitin na lang niya sa akin at sasagutin ko. Okay? Next. May mga questions akong nauulit yung senaryo pero iba yung itsura ng sagot. Irarasyo ko pa din yon pero hindi na mahaba, lalo kapag nadaanan na natin ha. Kasi talagang mahaba talaga ang CDI. No? Nakakatuwa nga eh, pinahaba ang CDI, dumali. Ang humirap, yung umikli, yung criminalistics. Umikli criminalistics ngayon, may mga drawing na ngayon eh. No? So with that, okay, let's start. Sa mga nagtatanong kung ano, kung sino ko, bali ako po si Enzo, ang inyong lecturer ngayon for CDI. So sa madaling sabi po, Arcrim po ako. Okay po. Top notcher po, frustrated. Pinangarap maging top notcher pero hindi narating. O yun. Timanan na natin, kalokohan na to. Okay? Ang subject natin ngayong umaga is ito muna ang dalawa. Yung fundamentals of criminal investigation and simulation on interview interrogation. Walang pinagkaiba yan. Dati, ang subject lang noon ng CDI ay fundamentals of criminal investigation, which is yung buong criminal investigation. However, sa bagong curriculum, ang ginawa nila, yung dating subject ng police intelligence, kinuha nila at nilagay nila sa CDI. Kaya naging fundamentals of criminal investigation and intelligence, which basically is yung kalahati ng criminal investigation plus intel. Yung subject o yung part ng interview, interrogation, and all the forms of questioning, pagtatanong, nilagay nila sa special crime 2. Kaya yan yan. Okay, so yan tayo magsimula. Okay? Meron na ba kayo yung aking questionnaire? Naibigay na ba sa inyo yung questionnaire ko? Or hindi pa? Talagang ito yung first time na seeing nyo to. Nakita nyo na ba to? Naibigay na sa inyo yung handout. Binigay ko naman to kay Sir noon eh.
Hindi pa
Meron na
po,
kayo
sir.
nito? Hindi pa. Okay. Sige, sige. So, we'll take the time, ha? Okay? Orasan natin ang sarili natin. Let's start with the first one. So, item number 1. Ibigay ko na lang kay ma'am to. Ibigay ko kay ma'am Valencia yung pinaka Q&A para at least you can advance answer if you want. Ha? Pero after this, ano na ha? Don't worry, ha? Okay. So, let's start. For item number 1, this is the part where you let the subject know as to who you are, your rank, and your agency. Ito daw yung bahagi na kung saan sinasabi mo ang iyong ranggo, sino ka, at iyong agency. So for starters, sinimulan natin ng easy question. Okay? Kapag kayo ay nakakakita ng multiple choice question, the first thing that you need to do is kung ito ay sagutan mo ng 1 to 100, is mark it first if easy, average, difficult question. The board exam is all about momentum. Buwelo ang board exam. So kung itong number 1 easy, kunwari, itong number 2 easy, itong number 3 ay easy, yung number 4, gaano mang kahirap yung number 4, positive mindset ka. Kasi yung pinakaunang tatlong items ay easy. However, it goes inversely as well. Kung itong number 1 ay mahirap, itong number 2 ay mahirap, itong number 3 ay mahirap, pagpatak mo ng number 4, gaano mang kadali yan, mukha sa iyong mahirap. Okay? So kung ito yung sasagot ka ng 1 to 100 na, literally straight to the onset, markahan mo lang muna to ng easy question, then punta ka ng number 2. However, dahil wala pa pala kayo nito, so isayin natin as to who you are, your rank, and your agency. Ang tinutukoy dito sa item number 1, ang tinutukoy dito sa item number 1 na to is yung tinatawag na ironic format. When you say ironic format, ang ironic format is the format used for interview. Okay? So ano yung interview? Yung interview, Para lang sa mga madali ang nakakalam, interview is the simple questioning. Okay? Ang interview ay simple questioning done to establish facts. Isang madali ang pagtatanong para makapaglahad ng katotohanan o ng isang pangyayari. Yan ang interview. So magkaroon lang tayo ng basics para mas madali na lang. So what is interview? Ang interview ay madali ang pagtatanong para makapaglahad ng isang pangyayari. Next, who? Sino or kanino kinokonduct ang interview? Interview is conducted usually sa witness and or victim. Why? Ay sorry, where? Saan natin ginagawa ang interview? Interview is usually done at the police station, doon sa kanilang interrogation room. What, where, when? Kailan ka nagko-conduct ng interview? Interview is conducted during custodial investigation. At when, where, why? Bakit tayo nagko-conduct ng interview? We conduct interview to gather admission. And finally, how? How do we conduct? Yan na yung pinaka-sagot sa tanong ninyo. O yung item number 1 natin, which is the ironic format. Okay? Nga pala, maririnig nyo minsan yung korang, gumaganon. Hayaan nyo lang yun, ha? Hayaan nyo lang yun, o pasensya na, ha? Yun yung word ko, ha? Okay? So, yan ang ating interview. So, kung what is interview? Interview is simple questioning. Who? Kanino ginagawa? Witness or victim? Where? Saan ginagawa? Sa interview, interrogation room. When? Kailan ginagawa? During custodial investigation. Why? Para makakuha ng admission. How? Itong tanong na to, ironic format. Okay? Hold on. Ilagay natin dito sa side para ito mapahaba natin ng konti. Yan. Okay? Ma-zoom pa po ba yan ng kaunti, sir? Pwede pa naman. Ma-zoom yan. Oh. Ganyan. Okay na yung ganyan? Okay na yung ganyan, ha? Ngayon, tulad ng binanggit natin kanina, ironic format. Kapag sinabi nating ironic format, ang ironic format is bawat isa niyan may meaning. I is identity, R is rapport, opening statement, N is narration, inquiry, then finally conclusion. Kapag identity, you're correct. Identity is you introduce yourself. Basically, your name, rank, and your agency. Rapport is more on establishing relationship. Tandaan ninyo, pinapakalma mo muna yung tao. Okay? Pag magkukondak ka ng interview at nalaman nila na ikaw ay police, tapos sinabi mo pa na investigate ang division mo or ang team mo ay Investigation Intelligence Division, kakabahan yung tao. Literal, kakabahan yon. So, kailangan mo munang pakalmahin yung tao. Okay? Kailangan mo munang alokin, kailangan mo munang biruin na, ma'am, parang nakita na kita, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, nakita na kita, ma'am, bago kita maanyaya ngayong interview. Kung nga pala'y nakita sa panaginip ko, yung mga ganyan. Basta papakalmahin mo muna yung tao. Kailangan mag-relax yung tao para yung tao mas open siyang magbigay ng information. That is rapport. O, ang O ay opening statement, which is you technically brief yung tao or you make him, her aware of the situation. Pinapaliwanag mo na ngayon kung ano yung pangyayari. So halimbawa, ma'am, maraming salamat po sa pagtanggap sa aming imbitasyon. Ako po si Enzo, mula po sa tanggapan ng PNP. Ito po ay isang pagtatanong tungkol sa nangyaring pagnanakaw na naganap noong ika-28 ng Setyembre 2024, bandang alas 11 ng hating gabi sa may distrito ng Dasmariñas, Cavite, na kung saan ikaw ang naging witness sa isang pangyayari. Maaari po ba namin kayong hingian ng statement tungkol dito? Yan ang opening statement. Pinapaliwanag mo kung ano yung nangyari at tinatanong mo siya kung pwede siyang magbigay ng pahayag. Now, kapag halimbawang sinabi niya na, sir, ayoko pong magbigay ng statement, sir, pasensya na po. Matik, hanggang opening statement ka lang. Ayro ka lang. Pero kapag sinabi niya ang opo, magbibigay po ko ng statement, so tutuloy-tuloy ka hanggang narration. Sa narration is of course yung pagkikwento. Sa narration, meron tayong tinatawag na chronological order. When we say chronological order, sequential, or ang ibig sabihin niyan ay sunod. Mahirap naman pag nagkwento siya mula nung ipinanganak siya. Napakahirap naman kapag magkikwento siya tapos putol-putol yung kwento niya. So that is the purpose of narration. Dapat tuloy-tuloy. May flow, ika yung kwento. May continuity, yung kwento. Narration. Then inquiry. Sa inquiry, you ask questions. Okay, ma'am, maaari niyo po bang ulitin itong sinabi niyo na to? Ma'am, maaari po ba tayong makapagbigay linaw kung ano po yung ibig sabihin po nito? Yan ang ibig sabihin ng inquiry. Sa board exam, ang accepted na inquiry is question and answer o yung tinatawag na nila na Q&A. Okay? Then finally, you have conclusion. Pag conclusion, you say thank you. This is the part where you say thank you. Okay? So for item number 1, you are correct. The answer is letter Bravo, identity. Okay? Okay ba tayo mga tol? Okay tayo? Okay? Ganito po ako magpaliwanag. Kaya matagal-tagal kayo. Tanggapin nyo na. Accept the fact na gagabihin tayo. Next. Number 2. As a criminal investigator, ito daw ang paraan ng pagpili ng isang suspect mula sa grupo ng inosenteng tao. Ano ang ginamit? So basically, yung number 2, ang hinihiling ng number 2 is yung tinatawag mo in English na methods of identification of witness. Ang tawag dito sa number 2 ay methods of identification made by witness. Or in Filipino, paraan ng pangingilatis ng biktima. Yan ang ibig sabihin yan. Yan yung question number 2. Paraan ng pangingilala ng pamamagitan ng isang witness. Dalawa ang kailangan mo munang matandaan dito. Dalawa ang kailangan mong matandaan dito. And ano yung dalawang ito? Na ang kinikilatis ng biktima bilang isang eyewitness ay dalawa. Ano itong dalawang to? 1, kapag halimbawa kilala ng biktima ang tao, ang tawag ay known fugitive. Kapag hindi kilala, ang tawag ay unknown fugitive. Kapag known fugitive, the witness knows the suspect by name and or alias. Kapag sinabi mo naman na unknown fugitive, ang unknown fugitive ay the witness does not know the suspect by name and or alias. Yan ang dalawang paraan para makilala ng eyewitness ang isang tao. Now, ang hinihingi dito is a means of selecting a suspect from a group of innocent persons. So technically, ang hinihiling nila dito is yung part na mamimili daw yung tao ng isang mula sa group of innocent persons. Ang verbal description and general photograph, Bravo and Charlie, ay ginagamit sa unknown fugitive. Verbal description and general photograph, ginagamit yan sa unknown fugitive. Okay? Verbal description, madalian lang yan. When you say verbal description, okay, witness identifies the suspect by words. Kaya nga ang tawag dyan ay speaking likeness. Or ang ibang tawag ay portrait parley. Okay? Kinikilala mo yung tao, ina-identify mo yung tao based or using words. Ano ang ibig sabihin natin ng based or using words? Example, kapag lecture na ba sa inyo si for example, si Serenzo nyo, yung maputi, yung matangkad, okay, yung gwapo, pag ganun mo, inilalarawan siya sa pamamagitan ng salita. Nakapag-lecture na ba sa inyo si ano nyo? Si Sir Boss ba nyo? Yung matangkad, yung gwapo, through words. This is called verbal description. You describe and you explain the person through words. When you say general photograph, ang general photograph sa bawat police station, meron silang album. Sa police station, meron silang album na walang pangalan pero nandun yung muka. Ulitin ko ha. Sa police station, meron sila nun album eh. May mga picture sila pero walang muka. Okay? Ang tawag naman doon ay general photographs. Na kung saan, kapag sinabing general photographs, the person or the witness, to be exact, the witness is shown a variety of photos. When you say is shown a variety, pinakitaan ng maraming litrato. The witness is shown a variety of photos from which she can identify the suspect. Okay? So, it's not Bravo and Charlie. Okay? It is not Bravo. It is not Charlie. So, you have show up or line up. Ang ibig sabihin ng physical show up ay, physical show up is identification made by the eyewitness at the crime scene. Halimbawa, isipin nyo, tapos na mag-cordon si patrolman. Pagtapos mag-cordon ni patrolman, ang gagawin ni patrolman, kung ito yung crime scene tape, lalabas siya sa crime scene tape, sabihin niya, mga ma'am at sir, may nakakakilala po ba sa biktima? May nakakita po ba ng nangyari dito ngayon po? Taas lang po ng kamay po, lapit lang po sa akin po. Ang impormasyon pong ibibigay niyo po ay magiging malaking tulong sa investigasyon na to. Ang tawag sa ginagawa ng pulis ay field inquiry, pagtatanong sa crime scene. Kapag halimbawa, may nagtaas na kamay, sir, alam ko po yung nangyari. Ang tawag doon sa ginawa niya ay eyewitness testimony. Ang tawag, kung halimbawa, sinabi yun po yung suspect o kamukha po niya, identification was made at the crime scene. Ang tawag mo na ngayon doon ay show up. Okay? Show up ang tawag doon. Okay? So tatlo yan. Para hindi kayo malito ha. Ang una is field inquiry. Field inquiry is questioning done at the scene of the crime. Sa field inquiry, ang makukuha mo sa field inquiry ay yung tinatawag na eyewitness testimony. Na kung saan itong eyewitness testimony, ang ibig sabihin niya ay statement made by an eyewitness at the scene of the crime. Then finally, ang tawag sa ibinibigay ng eyewitness testimony, ang tawag natin doon, kung sakaling nakapag-identify siya sa crime scene, ang tawag ay show up. Na ang ibig sabihin ng show up ay identification made by an eyewitness at the scene of the crime. So yan ha, tandaan nyo ha, para hindi kayo malito ha. Yan. Then yan. Okay? So, with all the information present, eliminate din natin ang show up. What remains is letter, very good, delta. That is police line up. That is police line up. Now, ang line up is, magbura muna ako, para mas madaling maintindihan, tandaan ninyo, ang line up is questioning done to a randomly selected persons at the police station. Ilang tao ang kailangan sa lineup? 7 to 10 persons. Why? Bakit 7 to 10? Bakit hindi 3? Bakit hindi 5? 7 to 10 persons kasi para matanggal yung tinatawag na power of self-suggestion. Magkaiba yung kapag tinanong mo, ma'am, sir, Nandito ba sa tao na mga to ang pumatay versus yung siya po ba ang pumatay? Magkaiba yon. So the lineup, kaya marami yon para you cannot do, ito ba pumatay? Siya ba pumatay? Siya ba pumatay? Siya ba pumatay? And so on. Yun ang pinaka-purpose ng lineup. Okay? Ang nagpasikat niyan yung sa Hawaiian 5-0 na movie. Ayun, Hawaiian 5-0 ba yun? Yung kumanta ng I Want It That Way. Yung sinabi ng investigador dun sa babae, did you see who killed your brother? Sabi nung eyewitness, nung babae, no. But I heard him singing, I Want It That Way. So sinabi ng police, suspect number 1, can you sing the lyrics of I Want It That Way? Suspect number 1, nagtaka. Sabi niya, okay, you are my fire. Tapos sabi ng police, suspect number 2, keep it going. The one desire. Tapos suspect number 3, believe when I say. Suspect number 4, yan, yun yun. Yan yung kumanta ng I Want It That Way na sikat na scene. Line up yun. Okay, so the number 2, correct answer is Delta. Okay, next. And number 3. Yan, sa number 3, it is to create an accurate objective visual. Sorry. It is to create an accurate visual record of the scene. To create an accurate objective visual record. Now, let me be clear on item number 3. Ang item number 3, it depends kung technically kung ano yung type ng question. Pero ang tanong dito ay accurate visual record. When you're talking of visual record, pag tinignan mo siya, eksakto yun yung itsura niya. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng 3. Accurate visual record. On how you saw it, it will be preserved or it must be preserved in the way that you saw it. So the best answer for this one is letter A. This is crime scene photography. Why crime scene photography? Because ang tanong ay visual record. When you say crime scene photography, by definition, ang ibig sabihin ng crime scene photography ay it is the comprehensive documentation through photos at the scene of the crime. Generally speaking, you have 3 types of crime scene photography. Generally speaking, you have 3 types of crime scene photography. Ano yung 3 types ng crime scene photography? One is the so-called general view or kung tawagin ay long-range view na ang ibig sabihin yan ay it shows location of the crime scene. Technically, it answers the question where. One. Next. 2. Meron tayong tinatawag na mid-range view, which means it shows the nature of the crime scene. Technically speaking, it answers the question, what? And finally, 3, yung close-up view. It shows the details of the crime scene. Yan naman, specifies. However, sa board exam yung may special na ika-4. And that is the extreme close-up photography. Na ang pinapakita naman yan is magnification done through microscope. Okay? So yan ang crime scene photography at ang 3 uri ng crime scene photography. Okay? Okay po tayo? Next. Ngayon at okay tayo sa crime scene photography, baguhin natin yung tanong kung wari. Baguhin natin yung tanong kung wari. Let us change the question. Let us change para at least mas marami tayong matutunan. What if ang gawin lang sa tanong ay it is used to create an accurate record of the crime scene. What if ganyan lang? Accurate record of the crime scene. It changes everything. Because between crime scene photography And sketch, the more accurate when it comes to record of the crime scene is letter Bravo. Sir, bakit? Bakit mas accurate record yung sketch kaysa photo? Madali lang yan. In one word, sa crime scene sketch kasi, there is the concept of measurement. There is the concept of measurement when it comes to sketch. Aside from measurement, there is also the concept of scale of proportion. Okay ba yan? Okay? It may sound the similar sa board, but in real life, those two are different. Measurement is knowing the distances. Ito ay gauging or measuring itself distances. Ang scale of proportion is technically the equivalent from map to real life. Sabi ng estudyante, ano yun? Hindi ko alam yun ah. Walang ganun ah. Sa mapa, may nakikita kayo yung nasa upper usually, nasa lower left or lower right part ng map. Sa lower left or sa lower right part ng map, may nakalagay doon na 0 to 1 inches, equivalent to 100 meters. Or sometimes parang ganito yung itsura niya. Nakaganto siya, 0 to 100. Tapos nakalagay dyan, 1 centimeter. Ganyan yung itsura niya. Yan ang tinatawag na scale of proportion. Sa mapa, 1 centimeter ang layo ng lugar. In real life, that is approximately 100 meters. Yan ang ibig sabihin yan, ha? Okay? Kaya, mas accurate ang crime scene sketch because it has measurement. Now, there are generally two types of sketch. Kapag ang tinutukoy mo na sketch ay yung kung may sukat o wala, that is yung nakalagay sa chat ninyo. You have the rough sketch and the finished sketch. When you say rough sketch, this has no measurement or scale of proportion, while finished sketch has scale of proportion or measurement. However, ang pinakamalaking pagkakaiba ng dalawa ay saan ginagamit. Rough sketch is used in crime scene preservation, while in finished sketch, this is usually in court presentation. Okay? Okay? Yan yung una, yung rough sketch and finished sketch. Now, if we're talking about kung ano yung kanyang sinusukat, those are different things naman. Hold on. Chotomate. Yan. Kung sakali naman, ang pinag-uusapan natin is yung uri ng crime scene sketch. There are generally 4 sketches. The first one is sketch of locality or ang ibang tawag ay neighborhood sketch. Pag nagbukas ka ng Google Map, makikita mo agad sa Google Map yung mga katabing building. Isipin mo, drawing yon. Yan ang sketch of locality or neighborhood sketch. Ang pinapakita niya is yung tinatawag na adjacent buildings, yung neighbors, yung surrounding houses. Pangalawa is yung tinatawag na sketch of ground or yung tinatawag natin na overlay o yung tinatawag natin na floor plan. Na ang pinapakita dito is yung pinakamalapit na materyales. Tumingin ka ng fire exit, ng fire escape plan na pa ganun. Di ba pinapakita niya sa inyo kung nasaan yung fire extinguisher? Pinapakita niya sa inyo kung nasaan yung fire extinguisher. Ang tawag mo doon ay sketch of ground. Ang pinapakita niyan sa board exam is yung so-called the nearest physical surrounding. Kung ito ang pinapakita ay bahay or mga karatig building, ang sketch of ground ay Pinakamalapit na bagay. Okay? Next. 3. Sketch in detail. Ang pinapakita niyan ay immediate scene or the actual crime scene. In Filipino, mismong pinangyarihan. And finally, 4. Meron kang tinatawag na exploded or cross projection. Now, when you say exploded or cross projection, ang pinapakita naman niya ay yung impression on the walls and ceilings. Kung mapapansin ninyo, itong unang tatlo, yan ay bird's eye view. Pag ganyan ang itsura niyan. Pag bino mo siya. Ang drawing mo ay paganto. Papaano ngayon kang magdo-document ng isang crime scene na nasa dingding ang dugo? Ang gagawin mo kung halimbawang may dingding, ganito ang pinaka-itsura niyan sa drawing. So kung ito yung palapag, pero ang pinangyarihan ng krimen or yung pinaka-ebidensya ay nasa dingding, magdo-drawing ka ng ganyan, yan. Tapos ilagay mo naman ito yung blood splatter pag ganyan, yan. Pag ganyan yung blood splatter pag ganyan. So ito yung bangkay. So kita mo ngayon na pag ganito yung dugo. Magdo-drawing ka ng dingding. So that is exploded or cross projection. Okay? Next. Police photography. Ang police photography, ay photography used by police officers in identification of suspects and witnesses, as well as its preservation. Ang police photography is yung ginagamit ng PNP na photography. Sabi estudyante, ha? May ginagamit pala PNP na photography? Meron. Ang tawag sa isang magandang example na ginagamit ng PNP ang kanilang photography is yung so-called na mugshot. Ang mugshot is an example of police photography where nire-record nila yung tao na may record sa loob. Or as we call it in criminology, binubuk yung tao. Kapag binubuk yung tao, tulad niyan, ang ginagamit ay mugshot. That is part ng police photography. Then finally, you have forensic photography. And when you say kapag ginamit mo naman yung term na forensic photography, ang forensic photography is used in tatlo yan. 1 is evidence collection. 2, laboratory examination. Then 3, finally, for court presentation. Yan naman yung uri ng photography na ginagamit dyan sa tatlong yan. Yan naman ang ginagamit ang forensic photography. Yung pangongolekta ng ebidensya, yung pag-examine sa crime lab, and finally, pag-present sa hukuman. Okay? So, let's short again. Baka may mga iba dito nakapag-take notes. Medyo malayo na. The answer for number 3, the accurate objective visual record is none other than crime scene photography. Number 3 is alpha. Okay tayo, students? Okay? Pag okay nga tayo, pa-thumbs up. Okay tayo, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Yan. Yan. Okay? Yan. Pasensya na, medyo mabilis tayo ha. Kasi nung una kong sinubukan to, nabot kami 5 araw. And we cannot afford ng 5 days. So we be very fast for 3 days, ha? Okay? Kahit ako, alam ko baka hindi kayo napapangiti or anything, baka nakakaantok. Pero don't worry naman, as this is video recorded, so you can always go back to it. Yung sa mga notes, you can always pause and take a photo of it. Okay? Okay? Now with that, let's continue. Sa board exam kasi, uso yung mga tanong na isa-isang tanong ay marami. Tapos sabay magtatanong. So for this one, isa-isahin natin. Si Sunade daw ay isang nag-i-sketch na naging top notcher sa batch nila. Okay? Ngayon, ang grade daw niya ay 74.99. Pero dahil mahirap daw, naging 75. Okay? Yan. Best average ever. 75. Okay? Dapat kapag nag-75 ka sa board, matik yun. Tarpaulin ka agad. Patarpaulin ka agad ng mukha mo. Pumasa ka ng board at ilagay mo yung grade mo na 75 flat. Ilagay mo dun sa tarpaulin mo itong quote na to. Okay? I did not give all. I did not give less. Just the right amount of effort. Ah! Yabang! Yabang! Yes! Hindi masyadong sobra. Hindi masyadong kulang. Puta, sakto lang. Yan, ganyan ang mga magandang bars. Di ba? Tapos kapag pinagtawanan ka, hayaan mong pagtawanan ka. Kasi di naman nila naiintindihan eh. Di naman sila nag-board. Yung top notcher, kabado. Ibinigay niya yung lahat niya. Kaya siya mataas. Yung mga tao, konti yung binigay. Kulang. Kaya anong nangyari? Pumalya. Pero ikaw, kalmado. Bilang. Eksakto. Ika nga sa hapon. All according to Great Kekako. Na plano mo. Lahat. Alam mo kung saan ka magkakamali. Alam mo kung saan ka tatama. Kaya 75 flat. Tandaan mo yan ha. Kaya sa mga nakikinig dito, kapag nag-75 flat kayo, stand with pride. Eksakto lang. Computed. Tandaan niyo yan ha. Kung meron dito kasi usually, ini-add ako eh. Usually, pwede nyo naman akong i-add din sa Messenger sa Facebook. Pag tinawagan mo ako tapos sinabi mo top notcher ka, ano lang yan sa akin? Congratulations, tol. Congratulations, top notcher ka na ha. Gamitin mo yung lisensya mo ng maayos ha. Pag top notcher ka, ganyan lang. Pero kapag 75 flat ka, shit, tol. Congratulations. Kailan ang inom? Ganyan. Ha? At marami na akong estudyanteng tumawag sa akin na 75 flat. Kaya tandaan nyo, mga nakikinig dito, ilan ba kayo? 55. Sa 55 na nakikinig dito ha, makinig kayo. Pag nakakuha kayo ng 75 flat, don't be shy, don't be afraid. Stand tall. Huwag mong ilagay doon na board exam passer. Ew! Board exam survivor. Tapos sabay planado. Ganyan lang yan ha. 75 daw si Sunade. O ngayon, siya daw ay mag-i-sketch ng crime scene. Manalig sa akin. Hindi maniwala sa akin eh. Siya daw ay mag-i-sketch ng crime scene. Ang unang sketch ay nasa mga dingding ay na parang binuksan daw ng cube para makita yung bullet hole sa dingding. Yan daw yung una. The second sketch was the building and its relative location to its nearby structures like SM and Pure Gold. The third sketch was the actual scene itself na nakikita mo yung katawan. And the fourth ay kita mo para daw floor plan. Ang tanong lang sa atin ay fourth. So ano yung fourth sketch daw? The fourth sketch was like a floor plan where you can see the body and its surroundings. So ano yung ating sagot sa number 4? Kita mo lang daw yung floor plan relative to the surroundings. That is letter number 4, that is bravo. That is sketch of ground. Okay? Tulad ng binanggit natin, kita mo daw na parang floor plan, sketch of ground. Pangalawa, nakikita mo yung katawan sa kanyang kapaligiran. That is sketch of ground. Number 4, bravo. Please remember that one ha. Next, isa-isahin natin. Okay, para kung sakaling mag-cross tayo sa question na to, mamaya ulit, meron na tayong sagot. The first one was drawn in a strange manner like a cube. Okay? Ang tawag mo dito sa unang yan, that is called, this is exploded. The first scene, the first sketch, ang tawag dito ay exploded or cross projection. Ito yan. Students, huwag kayo palang mag-alala. Ibibigay ko naman to sa inyo tong questionnaire. At the same time, mapapansin nyo yung ginawa ko sa katanong. Ang ginawa ko sa tanong, ginawa ko siya na words. Pero pwede mong i-drawing yan. Sa madaling sabi, yung definition, ginawa ko siyang tanong. Kaya kapag nire-review mo yung questionnaire ko, nandun na mismo yung sagot sa tanong. Kailangan mo lang hanapin yung iba't ibang number. So all you have to do is read yung questionnaire ko. Okay? Naka-tailor fit na yan. Don't worry. Okay? The first sketch is exploded or cross projection. Bakit? Dingding. So kung i-sketch mo daw yung dingding, parang binuksan na cube. Yung parang kanina. So kung ito yung kanina na parang cube, ginanyan mo siya. Kung i-drawing ko siya, parang ito yung itsura niya, then inopen na ganito. Yan. Yan yung cross. The second sketch daw was the building relative location to its nearby structures. So katabi. Ang tinutukoy ng second sketch ay sketch of locality. Sketch of locality. Yan yung tinutukoy ng pangalawa. Yung sketch of locality. Okay, next. Let's continue. Yeah. Yung third sketch naman, you can see the actual scene itself. The third sketch is, okay, hold on na saan, yan, anotay. Third sketch, ang third sketch naman ay tumutukoy sa sketch in detail. And then finally, the fourth sketch is yung sagot natin, sketch of ground. That is, bravo. Okay? Okay. Thank you very much. Yan. Okay? Kaya dapat, galingan nyo. Okay? Galingan nyo. Huwag nyo pangarapin maging 75. Pero kapag naging 75, it's a blessing. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Inshallah. Okay? Next. Number 5. Ikaw daw ay huhuliin mo si Jack the Ripper na hindi kilala at si Monkey D. Luffy na kilala. Anong uri ng kriminal si Luffy? Anong uri? So we know the name and we know the alias. The witness knows the name and the alias. The answer is letter alpha. Number 5 is alpha. That is known fugitive. Kapag sinabi nating unknown, the witness does not know the name of the suspect. The name and the alias of the suspect. Please write in your notes. Ang ibang tawag sa Bravo, hold on, let me clear. Ang ibang tawag sa unknown fugitive, ay suspect at large. Ang ibang tawag sa unknown fugitive ay suspect at large. Please do try to remember that one, ha? Yan yung naririnig yung mga at large. Okay? Next. Nako. Basic English number 6, ha? Okay? Basic English man, number 6. What is the best way daw to question someone who is belligerent? Yeah. Lalim boy English, no? What is belligerent? Yan. Okay? Maaga pa. No? Kailan ba board ngayon? Wala pa akong naririnig na na schedule ng board. Pero matagal pa yata board. Matagal pa board. Sa cellphone ninyo, maglagay kayo ng dictionary. Maglagay kayo ng thesaurus. Para kapag may mga ganyang salita na malalalim na na-encounter nyo, at least alam nyo. Okay? Tandaan nyo sa board exam. One of the best realities in the board exam is that it's better that you know than you don't know. Mabuti nang alam mo kaysa hindi mo alam. Di baling alam mo na hindi lumabas ng board exam kaysa lumabas ng board exam nang hindi mo alam. Damer ways to die yun. No? Kaya ang maganda, mabuting alam mo na hindi lumabas. Ngayon, anong ibig sabihin ng belligerent? Tama yung nakalagay sa chat. Thank you very much. Yes, that's correct. You're correct. Palaaway. However, let's put it in a bit English. Belligerent means hostile, nanlalaban, Ano ang pinakamagandang paraan para magtanong sa isang taong naglalaban? Kapag sumagot ka ng all of the above, that's wrong. Because interview is not used to someone who is very belligerent. Hindi ka mag-i-interview sa isang taong hostile. Because ang hindi hostile, doon ka nag-i-interview. Pag hostile, hindi. So you are left with letter B or letter C. Hindi rin siya letter C. It's not letter C. Why? Tactical interrogation. Tactical interrogation is questioning done to a captured enemy. Ang tactical interrogation ay ginagawa sa isang nahuli na kalaban. For example, ang Pilipinas ay kasalukuyang nasa gera sa bansa na hindi ko pwedeng banggitin. Nakahuli tayo ng kalaban mula dun sa bansa na hindi natin pwedeng banggitin. At yon ginamitan ng salamang kang torture para kumanta kung nasaan yung mga kampo and all. Ang tawag doon ay tactical interrogation. You do not do that to everyone, to a captured enemy. Pero sa number 6, walang nakalagay na captured enemy. If the question is general, the answer is general. If the question is specific, the answer is specific. So ang best answer dito is interrogation. Number 6 is bravo. Interrogation. Now, punta naman tayo, pag-aralan natin saglit ang interrogation. Let's use the 6 cardinal questions. Kung mapasin nyo, kanina ginamit ko rin yan. Let's use the 6 cardinal questions. Ang 6 cardinal questions natin is of course what, who, when, where, why, how. Ang how pertains to manner, why pertains to motive, where pertains to location, when pertains to date, time and date, who refers to identity, what refers to nature, intent. Okay? Ngayon, gamitin natin ang 6 cardinal questions para ma-determine natin or ma-define natin ang interrogation. So, what is interrogation? Ang interrogation ay questioning done, rigid, or skillful. Questioning done to a person to establish facts. When is interrogation conducted? That is during custodial investigation. Later, I will be discussing ng, ng mas malalim. What is custodial investigation? Where is interrogation conducted? That is in the police station or yung interrogation room nila. Who? Sino ang ini-interrogate? Ang ini-interrogate natin ay suspect, which also includes, kasama na rin ang yung tinatawag natin na deceitful witnesses. Isabihin ng deceitful witnesses yung binabayaran para magtumestigo. Uso yun. Pag kayo ay nagtrabaho balang araw sa law enforcement, uso yun. May mga taong binabayaran para tumayong testigo. Who, what, when, where, why? Bakit tayo nagko-conduct? Bakit tayo nagko-conduct ng interview? Ay, ng interrogation. Why do we conduct interrogation? We conduct interrogation para makakuha ng confession. Finally, how? Marami yung how. There are so many ways to do interrogation. Okay? Isulat lang muna natin para meron kayong record. Okay? Probably nakopya nyo na to. O nasulat nyo na to. Burahin natin yan. Yan. How do we conduct? Napakaraming interrogation techniques. You have the emotional approach. Yung kinukuha mo sa emosyon, masaya siya, maging masaya ka din. Malungkot siya, maging malungkot ka din. Emotional approach. Next, ng guilt trip, sympathetic approach. Kinukuha mo sa awa, Hindi ka ba naawa sa ginagawa mo? Marami nang umiiyak. Yan, sympathetic approach. Minsan mabait, yung tinatawag na kindness or friendliness approach. Next, meron tayong tinatawag na kung wari alam mo, yung pala, hindi. Yung tinatawag na bluff on split pair. Meron tayong tinatawag na mami ka na para mabawasan sintensya mo. Extenuating or mitigating. Meron naman yung naiintindihan ko, hindi mo kasalanan. Dawit ka lang. Kaya kung ako sa'yo, yun, sabihin mo na. Para matulungan ka namin, mausperto ka namin. Shifting the blame. Then finally, you have yung Matt and Jeff. Yan. So yan ang basics ng interrogation. Ulitin natin, what is interrogation? Skillful questioning.